2, 2, announcement test, announcement test. No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space.
A Navy lieutenant, blinded when he stepped on a hidden bomb, has won a Paralympic gold medal on the first anniversary of the blast. Bradley Snyder, lane 4 with the black cap, was serving with the US Navy in Afghanistan when a device he was trying to detect exploded and changed his life. The 28-year-old American swimmer is now adding sporting medals to his military ones and has won 2 golds and a silver at the Aquatic Centre. His latest triumph in the men's 400-metre freestyle S11 was watched from the stands by his mother Valerie, along with her 2 other sons and daughter. Mariana Davis has gone from Olympic skiing hopeful to Paralympic gold medalist in cycling. The 39-year-old, number 169 there, won the women's individual road race H1-3 at Brands Hatch, finishing more than a minute ahead of teammate Monica Bassio. Davis from the USA was 16 when she broke her back in a skiing accident. She missed a turn and flipped over a fence and was thrown back first against a tree, bounced off it and then landed headfirst on another tree. Her father Robert, a radiologist, said it was the worst back injury he'd seen in someone who'd survived. Davis won medals in skiing at the 1998 and 2002 Paralympic Winter Games.
Yeah, USA! Woo!
2 cyclists from Great Britain crossed the finishing line holding hands in an attempt to share a bronze medal at Brands Hatch. Rachel Morris was awarded the bronze in a photo finish with Karen Dark in the women's H1-3 road race, even though both women were given the same time in the 48-kilometre race. Dark at least had the consolation of winning a silver medal in the time trial 2 days earlier. Officials decided the pair could not share the bronze, which compensated for a miserable lead-up to the Paralympics for Morris, who was injured and had her bike written off in an accident with a car in July, which left her place in London in doubt. Dark, who was awarded 4th place, says she was delighted with the result. An Australian couple have seen their hopes of a double gold medal dashed. Amber Merritt, number 15, was part of the Australian team that lost 58-44 to Germany in the final of the women's wheelchair basketball at the North Greenwich Arena on Friday. It was her first Paralympic final, and she's now hoping boyfriend Sean Norris can make up for her disappointment by leading defending champions Australia to victory over Canada in the final of the men's wheelchair basketball. Norris already has a gold medal from Beijing 4 years ago. One of the longest winning runs in sport led to a gold medal for wheelchair tennis star Esther Vergeer of the Netherlands. She recorded her 470th successive singles victory to beat teammate Anneke van Koot 6-love, 6-3 in the final at Eton Manor. It's more than 9 years since Vergeer was beaten, and she says she's not yet decided whether she'll retire after her latest success. And all-rounder Wang Jiming saved his best till last to add the F40 men's javelin gold medal to the shot and discus titles he'd won earlier in the Games. He threw a world record with his 6th and final throw to triumph in the Olympic Stadium. It was a remarkable competition which rewrote the F40 record books, with 4 world records produced by 4 different throwers, and the lead changed hands 4 times. In total, 5 men exceeded the pre-Games world record.
Until the French score, I should say.
Norland working for that shorthanded goal. He's not going to get in there. So I'm just too strong.
Very, very strong, isn't he?
8 seconds on the shot clock.
You can see the countdown.
We need to call timeout.
So he's called timeout there.
And that's what the French were looking for. When you call timeout and there's less than 15 seconds, you get the shot clock pushed back up to 15 seconds. Almost made it around that corner, but Salem did a great job of keeping him out.
Norlin is a 2.5 classification, Salem a 3.5.
Now Sweden's going to have a lot of difficulty. This is what you talk about between the whistles. You have a lot of trouble getting the ball in because France was playing the ball from long before it was even given to the player on the sideline.
And of course it's 4 against 3, remember, still out there. That's excellent. Speed again.
So they took away that advantage that Sweden had by having the inbound at the end of the quarter.
Well, grabbed there by Eric Maurice. That was the turnover. It was always going to be tough for Sweden. It was 3 against 4 at that stage. 4 steals to 2 in the French favour, 17 apiece. Norlin makes it.
Like a Swedish player got his hand on that one.
The French still in possession. Oh!
That was great backward speed by the low pointer. Is it Wahlberg?
Yep, Michael Wahlberg. He's a 0.5 classification player.
His teammates are going to give him a little grief for that one. That's not a score.
He's not a score because he didn't stay upright.
He didn't cross the
He
line,
didn't cross the line with his wheels.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, the French coach.
He was going to take a big hit from Norland when he got around that corner either way, trying to knock him into that cone because technically the cone is out of bounds. If you touch it before 2 of your wheels cross, you don't get the goal.
So exceptional defending there from the Swedes. Their matches so far, they beat the Belgians by 10. They lost by 13 to Australia. As I mentioned earlier, heartbreakingly, they lost by 1 to Canada. And as David Menjin said before, it's the difference between possibly playing off for 5th and 6th, or at worst 7th and 8th, and potentially still having a chance of a medal, maybe even a gold medal. There'll be another point for the Swedes there, for their number 9 pair, Johan Ullman. The French so far, well, they lost to the Japanese by 9, they lost to Great Britain by 7, and they lost to the USA by 26. So they haven't recorded a victory here. They finished bottom of their group.
That'll be a foul on Ullman. You can see the contact there.
Sweden just starting to get on top then here.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of getting the ball across half court. And really their defense has caused several turnovers.
6 minutes to go in the second period until the halfway mark of this match.
Still a very close game. Nice inbound play.
Maurice with the challenge there on Tobias Sandberg.
Looks like that might have been 10 seconds, no dribble. Oh, called it a foul because the contact that was initiated was by the offensive player, but he didn't have his hand on the ball. If he'd had his hand on the ball and he made that contact, it would have been a defensive foul.
Well, France have just undone all that good work, though, because they've lost the ball again. The pass was to the PCA. It wasn't a good pass, though, in fairness to him. And now Sandberg just drifts past Maurice. And the Swedish lead, as you can see there, is now 3. Led by 1 at the end of the first quarter.
Oh, turnover. Ullman has a free shot at the goal.
Well, Sandberg did really well there. Made sure that the ball bounced off the back of either him or his chair, I'm not sure which. Timeout called.
I expect that was a timeout by France.
Yeah, this game in danger now, just perhaps of getting away from them a little bit in the second quarter. They were well in it at the end of the first, trailed by 1 and then scored almost immediately after to tie it up. But it's been all Sweden in the last minute or so.
Turnovers seem to be coming a little more frequently.
Yeah. The Swedish coach is Benoit Labrec,
formerly coach of Team Canada.
It's not a very Swedish name, is it? That's
No.
a very French name. So French-Canadian then. Benoit Labrec.
Nice job by France there.
And they've got one back, but they need a few more. Still trailing by 3. The PCA with the score.
Is that Maurice with the flat?
It is. More running repairs then.
Didn't have to work very hard for that one.
Nope.
At least not after he got the ball.
Swedish lead back to 4 now.
Looks like we got another equipment problem this time. Salim.
See the stats on the start list very much bearing out what you were saying about the French only utilising a small part of what is in any way a limited squad in terms of numbers, because virtually all their points have been scored by Maurice or Salem.
So he's got some kind of shoulder issue. But he's back. A little 60-second massage.
It's great contact. It was a good pass in the end because France will keep possession. They're going to have to cross halfway, but they've done that okay.
Oh, he did a great job there.
That was
keeping
fantastic,
chair
wasn't it?
position, protecting the ball.
Well, he's a 2.0 classification player. Sandberg, who's top of the classifications at 3.5. Although he has now scored again to make it a 4-point lead to the Swedes. who share the scoring around a lot more than the French. Lots of their squad have contributed, not just the point scoring either. Here's another wheel problem.
That hardware on the front of the chairs for the low pointers, the guys that are 0.5, 1, 1.5, they'll take out a lot of tires in the course of a game. Looks like there was a problem with that wheel. It was rubbing the front guard, the shield basically that's in the front of the offensive players' chairs.
So just a minute to sort this out, have they, in
right.
total when it's...
They weren't able to do it, so they're making it come off. So they're going to switch his wheel and then get an opportunity to get someone else in. So France needs to try not to make any mistakes here before they can get that player back. So this extra minute here will give them a chance to get this equipment fixed and get their line back together. Clearly he felt very alone where he was.
So timeout called then by the French.
Apparently they don't have that equipment fixed because he's not back.
No, Roux is still on the pitch. Nicolas Roux.
Oh, yeah, that's a spin.
Johan Ullmann sent to the box.
And it appears that might have been a flagrant call, because normally that would be a penalty goal. And he'd probably stay out there.
And why has he got away with that? Because Salem is a 3.5 classification. If that had been a 0.5 player, would he have got the flagrant foul? Do you think?
I think he actually did get a flagrant.
Oh, did he? Oh, so, my
I'm not sure yet. We'll see if France scores and he doesn't come out. We'll know for sure.
Right.
That could be devastating for Sweden.
Yeah, it was.
Because now they can score 2 more times before Ullmann comes back out.
And the Swedes without Ullmann. Oh. Well, they've lost the ball.
It's a shame when you do so well at defense and you can't hang on to the ball there.
Well, he just had to get rid of the ball there. Couldn't even see really where he was throwing it.
And you see they've got Sandberg locked up so that he'll either have to call inbound or just ask for some help to get knocked out of there by another player.
So France, who on a few occasions have trailed by 4 points, have now cut that deficit to 2. And Sweden, without Tobias Sandberg.
And he'll do this just to make sure that they have to inbound from further down the court.
Struggling a little bit now, the Swedes, obviously, with just the 3 against 4.
And that's really the biggest difficulty with the high-low line is when you lose one of your high point players, there's nobody left to inbound to or pass to if you're the remaining high pointer.
A good point for France. Roux, the scorer, 24-23. And now Ullmann's back on, but a lot of damage has been done while he's been off.
Yeah, that was a costly penalty.
But he's looking to make amends, isn't he, though? The little grimace and grit of the teeth in Ullmann.
Well, they say the best players are players with a short memory. Even if you make a mistake, you got to let it go and play the next play.
Exceptional play again from Salem.
I think it was Will Grew of Team USA who told me that. Only not having any trouble. I think Salem is trying to save a little energy at this point, because he's going to be in there right to the end unless it gets out of control.
Well, they've no other 3.5 player in the French squad.
And that'll be a turnover.
Well, that's costly, isn't it, that?
It was a spin. It hit the player behind the axle of his wheel.
Michael
He looks a
Wahlberg.
little shaken up.
Yeah, he does. I think he's landed on his shoulder there. Might get to see that again.
Looks like he's okay. Just taping him back together.
It's the 32-year-old Wahlberg, 0.5 classification player.
Does a really good job with that inbound, too, from the end line.
And from the Swedish city of Stockholm. Most of the Swedes playing their wheelchair rugby in either Stockholm, Malmo or Gothenburg.
Nice job by Ullmann realizing he didn't have any place to go and that he could push his chair.
Great collision from Salah. Poor pass. He couldn't really have expected either of his teammates there, I don't think, to have got that past Janssen or Hjert.
I don't know that either of them knew who that pass was to. Great defense there. Ullmann made that turnover. Just a little bit of contact, slow down the intended recipient, Salem.
So the Swedes get the ball back. French mistake. It's a bit of a shame after France had got the ball back, wasn't it?
The Swedes only rotating out their high pointer, their highest classification players. And while the guys that carry the ball across the line get all the glory, it's those other guys that make it work.
Same in every sport, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You score the points, you're the one that everybody wants to beat. You're the hero. Here's Sandberg.
And in that situation again, his teammates kept all the defenders away from him. He didn't even have to worry about pushing hard, let alone contact. France in trouble here.
Yeah, a lot of defence around Maurice. Called a timeout.
They'd used 11 out of their 12 seconds. It's a good heads-up call. Starting to get away from them, though.
It is a little bit, isn't it? It's only 3 points, but they won't want it to be any more than this, will they, at the halfway period, really?
No. They need to gain 1 or 2 back if they can. And then both teams want the last score of the quarter. If you can win that, the whole game, that's 4 points.
Here's Salem, the Parisian, 41-year-old. Again, he goes wide out onto the right. Yes, it was great play. He finds Maurice, opened up the scoring area really there. Oh, he's got the ball back.
He's playing a little anxious. He's got 40 seconds and he'll take his time and get things set up here. And that's what they'll do.
And in the end, he is through.
Worked hard for that one. Really a nice job of defense there, playing the passing lane instead of the player. Looks like the Swedes are going to try and ram that clock down again. About a 3.5 second differential on the shot clock.
Yeah. So the French will get the ball back.
And they know that. It looks like they're setting up for the possibility of a long pass.
Did it with a second to spare, so 4.3 to go. Need the long pass now. Oh, they didn't quite make it there.
So that puts us at a halftime.
It doesn't. I'm just waiting
to see a score. There we go.
There we go. Official halftime score there, flashing up on your screen. It's 29-27 in favour of the Swedes. So France, well, they managed to keep it to within 2 at the halfway point, so there's still hope for the French. Been a good game, nice, tightly contested game. That's the end of the first 2 periods. We'll be back with periods 3 and 4 after a break.
Back again, France starting off the half with possession.
And scoring. So they're back within 1. That's quite a feat, really. I mean, they were down by 4 points, 2 or 3 occasions there, David, in the first half.
Yes, and very close to halftime even. So they got to be happy with that going into halftime and coming out with the ball and the score.
Well, they're back to 2 behind. Salem, great wheelchair skill, very, very big, powerful man.
Really strong. And that's where you see that trunk function comes in handy. Powering through a hit like that, making a turn like that, really nice.
Where would the French be without him?
Whereas you'll see Sandberg, he's got a lot of hand function there. That'll be over and back. And a turnover. Good defense there, forcing the player to turn, have his chair facing the wrong way so he can't make a good pass.
Yeah, clearly went over the halfway line again. Le Huissier. The restart for the French. Simple score for Eric Maurice, the 38-year-old. Well, they've tied it up at 30 apiece now. That is something of a coup, really, for the French.
And another turnover. France playing excellent defense right now.
Yeah, couldn't get rid of the ball before they went out of the court. So Le Huissier again for the French. And they could actually take the lead here. And that hasn't happened at all in this game, because the Swedes scored the first point and they've never been behind.
Ullman needs to be careful. If he gets another flagrant, he's out of the game. But he made contact in front of the wheel first, so they won't even call that a spin. No penalty, goal. Good effort by both players.
But he was over the line, so he gets the point.
He was.
Yeah. So France do take the lead here then. 31-30. What a turnaround. That's a turnaround of 5. And just before half-time. So credit where it's due. Been excellent from the French. Now can they hold on? Well, they've really boxed in the 1.0 player there, but in the end he gets the pass away. And Thomas Geert scores to tie things up again. I thought Stefan Janssen was in a little bit of trouble there, but it was a good pass in the end, wasn't it?
He did a nice job of hanging on to the ball, keeping his wits about him.
A little bit of concern there for Benoit Labrec. Here's the Swedish coach. He's seen his team pegged back. Remember, the winners will play off for 5th and 6th place.
See both teams with a player off the court trying to convince the referees it's their ball.
That's been given to Sweden. The losers, by the way, play the Belgians for 7th and 8th. The winners, though, the British, so should ensure a noisy stadium anyway, if nothing else. Here's Geert.
The fans have been great in all the venues. And that's 4 in the key. You're only allowed 3 defensive players in that orange box between the cones. And the last player to enter that zone will go into the penalty box. And I think it's Maurice.
I think it is the number 2. Maurice, 4th player in. Yes, I'm glad to hear that you have enjoyed the games. I think the British attitude beforehand, if you sort of know our sense of humour, is that what can conceivably go wrong will go wrong.
Sure.
But I don't think that's happened, has it, in either the Olympics or the Paralympics? We've even been blessed with some decent weather for the most part, and believe me, after the summer we've had, David, that's quite something. That tomorrow's closing ceremony, 81 degrees during the day and sunny in September in England. Unheard of.
Who'd have thunk it? We packed for the summer that you've had,
Yeah.
so I've got lots of rain gear that's sitting in my suitcase.
Well, if you'd have come in June or July, you'd have needed it, I promise you.
It has been a great experience. Everyone's treated us really well.
And even
I couldn't ask for anything better.
Even the transport systems worked.
Yes.
That is an eye-opener for us, for those of us who live here.
Public transportation has been very accessible.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you, and I hope all our other visitors, have enjoyed the trip to these shores. 32 apiece now. Sweden taking us back underway. Just over 5 minutes to go in this third period. Great pass from Ullman. Kurt scores again. I tell you what will be strange is when you all disappear and we have to go back to our normal jobs.
Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back home to our normal jobs.
The city's going to seem empty.
I'm sure that's going to be welcome in some ways. When you get on a train, for example.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Not that London is ever really truly empty, with about 14 million people inside the M25, the big orbital motorway. I think that's the population. Here's Salem. France trailing again, but only by one. They'll tie it up here if they can get over the line.
Oh, went for the corner. Great defense there.
Well, I'm not sure. He didn't know Janssen was behind him, did he? I don't think.
I think he must have realized because he called timeout.
Oh, did he? Ah, right.
He was waiting for his player to get out of the way.
Yeah, called timeout. Absolutely spot on. I didn't see that. Well done. Good defence from the Swedes, though.
And that's actually a good veteran move. You'll see a lot of times rookies, they'll get into a situation like that and they won't think to call timeout. If you have possession of the ball while you're falling, you lose possession if you still have it when you hit the ground. But if you can get rid of it on your way down or call timeout, you retain possession. Sweden in the key defense.
Salem in danger of hitting the cone there if he's not careful. We've got 2 seconds to get to the shot. Brilliant defence from the Swedes. Little things like that can turn a match, can't they?
Certainly what they were looking for there. That's why they set up the way they did.
But given what you said before about, this being a sport that was specially invented, if you like, for the wheelchair, as opposed to one that was adapted, like the basketball or the volleyball, it must have taken some thought. Some thought must have gone into this. All the different rules. Do they adapt the rules? Do they change all the time?
Yes, they do change all the time. Although the core of the rules have come over the course of 30 years.
Right.
Sport started in Canada. And Canada, again, in medal contention.
Just because they beat the Swedes by 1 point, didn't they?
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Well played the French there with Huissier, who scores, but they're still behind by 1.
Ullman looking for some help. Was able to work his way out.
So Sweden now 2 in front. Tell you what would be interesting. It just makes me wonder. A guy like, say, Riyad Salem, how far he travels in that chair in a game, in the 32 minutes of the game. Oh, he's over again.
Oh, another spin, they're calling it. I've heard someone say that you sprint up to 5 miles in a rugby game.
Right.
And I think they're doing that math based on the length of the court and the number of goals that get scored. I don't know that anyone sprints that far in a game, but it gives you an idea of
the distance.
How much distance you cover, and it's all in powerful bursts.
Yeah, and it's all at speed, or nearly all of it's at speed. And, this guy here has been on for every minute so far.
Looks like he's having some muscle spasms or something in his chest.
Let's hope he's okay.
Appears to be. He's still got a little time to put his straps back on, and if he needs to.
Only got 3 minutes now in this third period. Back to 1, the deficit. They'll just need a turnover to try to get themselves back level.
Ullman trapped.
Still wants the ball. Ooh, Swedes lucky
Good
there.
heads-up play.
Can he keep it in? No.
A little bit of spin on the ball.
So French restart.
There's their opportunity to tie things up.
Absolutely. And just like in... they've thrown it away. Oh, what a mess the French have made of that. And Houssier acknowledged there that was not a good pass. And what a shame for France, just when they could have got it back to 35 apiece. 1 or 2 changes now for these Swedes. What does make it more enjoyable from a neutral point of view, I mean, this is true of all sports, obviously, as well, is when, the score isn't a blowout, when you get a really nice, tightly contested game that could go either way, basically.
Sure. And though everyone's here to win, it's a lot more fun to play in a game that's close, whether you're winning or losing.
Well, it could easily be 35 apiece, but that poor pass from the restart from Sébastien Louisier means that it's now 36-34, and that's a French opportunity undoubtedly lost. Maurice pulls back a score.
A little bit sloppy, but they're able to pick it back up. Big Mike Norland.
Norland now 38 years of age. Do you think there's a possibility at the next Paralympics in Rio there might be more than the 8 teams in the rugby competition? Do you think? Obviously,
I don't know the answer to that question. Oh, there's another flagrant foul. He hit him after the line and spun him, and the refs are just trying to maintain control of this game.
I suppose the problem is trying to find teams of the required standard. I mean, it's all very well it being played in a country, but unless you've got enough to compete at least at some level.
Sure, and you can see just in the disparity between the top 4 teams and the bottom 4 teams how much difference there is in the play, discipline, and just pure skill. And the coaches, even the coaches, the phenomenal coaching that you get, you'll see the reason that you find a Canadian coach in Sweden and an American coach in Canada, and there are only so many elite coaching jobs out there.
Sure.
You can't all have the same one. You can't always have the same one in your home country. But it's great to see the sport develop like this and see other countries getting better and better.
And this is a very enjoyable game, even though, as David says, it's not absolutely the top level. It's not the USA. It's not Australia.
Any one of these teams would still destroy my team.
Yeah.
Whoever comes out of this without a win over the weekend is still a
good team.
Great team. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't call that flagrant.
Well, it's Glenn Adeshak who took the tumble there, and he is a 0.5 classification player, so the lowest classification player. Glad to say he's okay.
He's also very light. He's thin, so he'll go over pretty easily. And you may see France take advantage of that. Salem being so strong.
In fact, what a contrast between the two physiques of the guys that were just in your shot there. Adeshak and Riyad Salem. We're back tied again at 37 apiece. Good game.
I believe that's the second goal of the 3 for the technical. Although scoring this goal actually is great for Sweden because it takes away some of that penalty.
.152 remaining when we restarted that. And again, scores tied up, 38 apiece.
Sweden back at full strength, but that was costly.
Yeah, some damage done there while Thomas Hjert has been in the box.
Good job using his pick.
That's an easy point for the Swedes. Still got 90 seconds left, just about in this third period, though.
Now both teams thinking about working for the last goal. He needs to dribble.
Swedish ball, I think.
Yeah, possession arrows their way. Every time France gets back in it, they turn the ball over.
Well, they've just led once, haven't they? Just the once. Nice move from the Swedes. Hjert scores again. And right down the other end, the response from France is instant. 58 seconds remain in this third period, so that they'll both be setting up now for the end of the quarter, will they?
Right. Sweden would like to score relatively quickly to ensure that they get one more chance with the ball.
Now, that's not a foul, is it, I don't think?
If he didn't make contact with the other player's chair or the other player's body, it's not a foul. But if he did, then Salem would be in the box. He did a nice job of keeping himself off of there. Excellent effort. So no penalty, but Sweden retains the ball.
.48 seconds to go.
Again, seeing that depth of Sweden.
Janssen finds Kuller, captain, who is back on.
And he's probably back in as much for his height as anything. So that when they get into a situation, if they get stuck in the key, you can pass to that guy over just about anybody.
Well, you can see how high he sits in the chair compared to everybody else.
And he'll look to set up against Salem, create some space in there. Great job by Sweden. Forcing the defensive player across the goal line. Any player that crosses the goal line without the ball gets a penalty. So with that play, Sweden basically has assured themselves of an opportunity for that last goal. And you'll see France trying to stay away from the goal lines because a penalty goal would leave that player in the penalty box.
Yeah. So they're just going to run down the clock here, and over he goes. Very well timed. 0.3 of a second remaining. And there we go.
Another great quarter of rugby.
Well, we go into the final quarter with the match still in the balance, which I think, from a neutral point of view, is absolutely what we desired. There's 2 in it, 12-12 in that period. So the honours even, the first 2 quarters won, each of them by Sweden, but only by a point. So they lead by 2 at the 3-quarter mark. We'll be back with the final quarter in a moment or two's time.
That's funny. We saw these same people eating bananas yesterday, and now they're eating apples together.
The exact same people.
The same people sitting in the same spot.
Back with the 4th and final quarter, David Oates and David Menjin. 41 plays 39. Last 8 minutes of this match. And they're going to try to force him into the cone there.
He needs to be careful. He can't go part way out and come back, which is exactly what he did. If one wheel crosses and then comes back onto the court, it's out and in, and you turn over the ball. Plus now he's trapped.
Well, they have ceded the advantage there. Oh, almost got it back straight away. Janssen in a little bit of trouble. Swedes work that nicely. Here's Kuller. And Janssen gives him the option there. And Kuller's, well, he's lost it, but he'll get it back. And Swedes out into a 3-point lead. 42-39. So a good start to the 4th quarter from the Swedes. The French had the ball. They didn't score thanks to some terrific defence. And now they've got the point themselves. And their lead is 3.
They certainly got their work cut out for them.
Eric Maurice, another point for the French.
Nice defensive play there. Keeps them out of the play. Turned what could be a difficult run into an easy one, just by maintaining contact with the chair.
That's well played.
A little pass to himself.
Well, the Swedes have come from, the French rather, have come from 4 down in this match to actually lead at one stage before trailing again. So anything is possible, but as that clock runs down, it's going to become more and more difficult. Kuller gets the ball to Hjert.
It's a flat tire. He needs to call that. Got away with it.
Well taken.
And now he'll take the equipment, get a new tire.
Smile from Janssen.
He knew the shot clock was running out, or the 12 seconds.
So he carries that ball between his arms, having the minimal actual hand function. Did really well to pick up. It wasn't the easiest ball in the world, but
not only did he have to corral the ball, but he had to make sure he stayed inside that cone. And you saw him hop a little bit, trying to make sure that he didn't slide into it.
the prize here is a 5th and 6th place playoff against the host nation, Great Britain. Clock stopped here at 6:42.
Nice crisp pass. His blocker left him.
Amazingly powerful man.
He certainly earned that. Risky pass in this situation. It paid off.
Oh, wonderful.
Really good ball movement, too.
Yeah, wonderful point, that. But the Swedes made France work very, very hard for that point, didn't they?
Yes. And though Salem has been in for every minute, he's clearly not tired. You saw him push down that floor.
Wonderful athleticism from these players. You don't spring chicken either, Salem. He's 41 years of age.
That'll be a spin.
Well, the French can't afford that, can they, in the position that they are in at the moment, David? They really can't afford that.
No, you don't want to give any easy goals to Sweden. But they're trying to do anything they can to create a turnover. They're running out of time quickly. And now with 2 men in the box, France is going to have trouble scoring after Sweden does.
So will Sweden aim to score quickly now or not?
They'll probably drag it out so that the clock is on their side.
Yeah.
So they use as much as they can of the penalty on the first player. Score the goal before he comes out. If they score after he comes out, then both players will be back on the floor.
Yeah. So the first Frenchman is back, but as David says, it will be difficult for them now.
Really no place to go with the ball. They're all trapped down low. That looked like it went off a yellow chair.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Which is great because now they have the entire court to work with to inbound the ball.
Well, I think it's been given to Sweden. Well, I was with you very much. I'm sure that is an incorrect decision. Actually, I was pretty sure that came off a yellow chair.
Apparently, the referee saw something we didn't.
Kuller.
And again, they'll take their time.
Well, there's no hurry. They know that when they do score, the French will be able to bring Salem back on.
But behind by 4.
So it's looking good for Sweden here. It's looking at the moment with 5 minutes and 4 seconds remaining as if they are the team that will go forward to play Great Britain in the 5th and 6th place playoff. And the French will have a match for 7th and 8th against their near neighbours, the Belgians.
And that play there might have sealed it.
Yeah, it's 5. The deficit is 5, and with under 5 minutes to go, you would have to think that is too much to ask, isn't it, of France?
5 turnovers in 5 minutes, that's a lot of time. Or not a lot of time.
Yeah, or not a lot of time, in fact. This is Maurice. Steals there, you can see 7-4 to the French. There's one of the points back. The problem here for France is they can't just trade points with Sweden.
And you'll see Sweden using as much of the clock as possible just to keep France from having that opportunity.
Going to use up every second, weren't they there, Sweden? Well, even parts of a second. Janssen leaving it to the last minute to cross the line. Timeout has been called. France trailing here.
Looks like Sweden's substitutions. Bringing out 4 new players.
And a new wheel. I'm not sure what Benoit Lebrec is complaining about. His side looking good for the victory. He's the French-sounding coach of the Swedes. Yes, another turnover and another point for Sweden. Tobias Sandberg. And surely now there is no way back for the French.
And you'll find that being physically tired will make you focus on your body's tiredness and takes out away from your mental game, and that's where turnovers like this back-to-back occur. So now Sweden with their speed line so they can get across half court and then play some keep away with the hands.
The 50 up then for the Swedes, the half century of points, and just as David Mention said at the start, and here's another for Ullmann. It's all going a little pear-shaped now for the French. And as you said at the start, David, the problem for the French is that they don't tend to rotate their squad. They've only a small squad anyway, 9 rather than the 12 that most of the other countries here have brought. This man's been exceptional, but other than when he's been in the box, he's been out there for every minute, every second of the game, and tiredness must be playing a part here.
And I expect looking at the final score of this game will not at all tell people how close it was.
No. Lead out to 7 now. No, we had great drama really for the first 3 quarters and the opening, say, 2 minutes of this quarter as well. But now this is a lost cause for the French. There is no way back from here. We just need...
Still very good defense by Sweden, putting on the pressure.
They look very fresh, the Swedes, don't they?
And they could sit back and in the key and let France advance and save some energy, but they're not doing that. They're attacking. And they feel they should be in the medal round. They played a great game yesterday.
Yes, I didn't see that. You saw that game, did you?
I worked that game.
Oh, did you?
Commentated, yeah.
Yeah.
Great game to watch.
That must have been fantastic. When was it won? Right at the very death?
Yes. Yeah, it went back and forth quite a bit. Canada was down for a long time. But they're a team with a lot of depth and a lot of experience.
And of course, had Sweden won that, they would have faced the United States in the semi-finals. And even if they'd have lost that, they'd have still had a bronze medal match against the losers of Australia, Japan. So, yeah, I mean, you can understand the Swedes' disappointment, can't you,
Absolutely.
From that point of view?
They've come a long way, not just physically, but I mean, as their program, they've developed. Clearly a contender. The way they played against Canada yesterday, they really have to be proud of that, despite the disappointment.
And I said to Duncan, who is the Canadian summariser that we've also used here on Paralympic Sport TV, that's very interesting to see a country like Sweden. I mean, you expect rugby of both codes is played, league and union is played in countries like Australia and France, but USA and Canada, that has some rugby as well, doesn't it? But Sweden, you know, that's it. And Belgium, they are not countries you associate. I mean, they're football, soccer countries, aren't they? Really, it's amazing. And Japan as well, of course.
Well, this sport being so unique, it's, I'll tell you, once you get in a chair, you never want to get out. At the end of a season, my shoulders are pretty worn out, and I'm ready to get away from it. But a month or two away, I'm
you
dying,
want to be back,
itching to get back into it.
That is how it should be in sport. At the end of the season, you should want to stop, and after about a month or two, you should want to start again.
Our first tournament of the season is in Seattle at the end of the month, end of September.
Right.
That should be fun. Get back into it.
So you play over the winter?
Yes.
Yeah, through the winter.
Generally October to April is when our national final tournament is.
Autumn to spring then? Or fall, as I'm sure you call it, fall to spring. 2:22. What's the lead now? 9.
Oh, he wasn't touching the ground. I was surprised that was called. Because while he did make a movement toward the backcourt, he wasn't touching the backcourt with his wheels. I thought he'd have gotten away with that one.
When you start playing again later this month in Michigan, I mean, is there a lot of travel involved? Are there enough players that you can sort of play locally, or do you tend to have to fly off to matches and things like that?
We are lucky in Michigan that we have several teams in driving distance.
Right.
But there's only one team per major metropolitan area. So we're traveling 4 or 5 hours. But you get a whole weekend of tournaments or games like this. We'll play 5 games on a weekend. 8 teams. Makes it worth the trip.
Yeah. Look at the score now. 10 points the Swedish lead. And as David said, about 3 or 4 minutes ago, people looking at the scoreline will think that this has been a bit of a blowout, and that is far from the case, really. Sweet. Sorry.
I was just going to say that Salem there, he's not giving up. Despite being down by 9 points, he's going to fight for every point right down to the end.
Well, they've battled away here, the French, but they will be in the 7th and 8th place playoff against the Belgians. The Swedes, well, no medal for them at this Paralympic Games, but they have a chance of finishing 5th if they can beat the British team, the host nation. 85 seconds remain. Again, the lead is out to 10.
I expect that'll be a great game for 5th.
Yes, when will that be? I can tell you. Or can I? No, off the top of my head, I'm afraid I can't tell you, but...
It'll be tomorrow.
It'll be tomorrow sometime, yeah. I was going to try to give a time, but I've got the date, but not the time. It is tomorrow, and it'll be worth watching. As will that semi-final between the US and Canada, I would imagine.
That's a long rivalry.
There goes Ullman. Well, they are two of the pivotal figures of this game. Ullman tracked there by Salem, scoring the point. Back to 10. 61 seconds remaining. Long pass, audacious pass.
Again, now desperate attempts just to get the ball across half court.
More a question now, really, of playing out time. Everybody knows who's won this one.
Nice job getting the ball in there.
Oh, lovely. Great improvisation there. Point for Root.
France has definitely shown they deserve to be in this tournament, but they were outmatched today.
Yes, I would echo that, David. I think the thing that they will have to try to do in the next 4 years is grow the depth of their squad, isn't it, really?
Certainly.
They've shown for 3/4 of this game, but just largely using the same 4 players, that they can compete with a country like Sweden who have a good chance of finishing 5th.
It really only takes 1 or 2 minutes of rest to get you back.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. There's the end of the game. 58-48. So the Swedes win by 10. Let's get a closing comment then from David Mengen on, well, a deserved Swedish victory in the end. They'll play off with Great Britain for 5th and 6th. David.
And that's a game that we can certainly look forward to. Both teams have played well, and they're looking to go out of here with a final win.
Well, my thanks to David Mengen. It's been a good game. Don't let that score, if you're just tuning in, don't let it mislead you. 58-48. You can see
It's a feature perhaps of the tournament when you get into your 7th game in 10 days. There must be an impact on shoulders, mustn't there, Steve? There is. Shoulders,